For an in-depth look at the Colorado River, I want to bring in Alejandra Barunda, a National Geographic environment writer.
The Grand Canyon is many things. It's undeniably visually stunning, but above all, it's enormous. And when something is that large, it's easy for things to get lost. Some of the items that have resurfaced within the Grand Canyon are so bizarre, they defy imagination. Here are the 20 strangest discoveries ever made in the Grand Canyon. At number 20, a cliff collapse reveals fossils. The discovery of new fossils is always exciting, as each one helps advance scientific understanding of the Earth's formation and changes over time. However, when fossils capture a specific moment in history, the discovery becomes even more extraordinary. In 2016, part of the Grand Canyon experienced a cliff collapse, which led to a remarkable find. Norwegian geologist Alan Krill, a visiting professor at the University of Nevada, was leading a group of students on a hike through the geological marvel. While exploring the fallen rocks, Krill noticed something extraordinary and snapped photos of the fossils embedded within them. After sharing the images with colleagues, it was confirmed that the fossils were the footprints of two creatures that had walked across a sand dune approximately 313 million years ago. These creatures left narrow tracks, which were eventually preserved in the rock that would become part of the Grand Canyon. For millions of years, their story lay hidden until the collapse revealed their ancient journey. These fossils are currently recognized as the oldest vertebrate tracks in the national park, but who knows what other secrets the Grand Canyon still holds. Now, let's dive into a truly eerie discovery. This particular find in the Grand Canyon has left the world puzzled and unsettled, as no one knows who created it. Deep near the canyon's bottom, explorers stumbled upon an unusual rock formation that eerily resembles a giant hand. The resemblance is uncanny, making it hard to believe it's a natural formation. Clearly, someone put it there, but the big mystery remains. Who did it and why? Judging by its condition, experts estimate it to be over 100 years old. But what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below with the hashtag #SweetTopic. Coming in at number 19 is the Great Unconformity. One of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the Grand Canyon isn't something that's physically there, but rather something that's missing. The Great Unconformity refers to a massive gap in the canyon's geological record, where around 1 billion years of rock layers have vanished without a trace. So how does such a significant chunk of Earth's history simply disappear? Several theories exist, but the leading explanation is that this gap represents a period known as Snowball Earth. During this time, the planet was nearly entirely covered in ice, and the glaciers likely eroded away vast amounts of rock. The unconformity exists at the boundary between the Tapeats sandstone and the metamorphic rocks of the Granite Gorge, marking this missing chapter in Earth's story. The Grand Canyon is one of the places on Earth that still shows the effects of Snowball Earth, raising even more questions about what happened during that time. As glaciers move, they tend to erode sediment and carry it away from the underlying rock. This could explain how such a large portion of the rock shifted, leaving no trace where it would normally be expected. It's also possible that the rock layers never formed in these areas during that time period, but we currently lack the tools to determine exactly how or why this happened. Coming in at number 18 is the Cave of the Domes, the only official cave open to the public in the Grand Canyon. This network of underground caves is fascinating for anyone who enjoys hiking and exploring hidden places. The main entrance to the caves is accessible via a hike down to the Cave of the Domes near Horseshoe Mesa at the end of the Grandview Trail. The journey itself is worthwhile, taking you away from the crowded village area and offering stunning views of the canyon. The cave was once a miner's cave, with limestone domes that have eroded over millions of years. Inside, it's dry, dark, and eerily quiet. The cave walls are marked with signatures from the early 1900s, although today visitors are encouraged to leave their mark in a guest book instead. Number 17 takes us to a remarkable discovery of nautiloid fossils. Found in the Kaibab Formation within the Grand Canyon, These coiled nautiloid fossils are the remnants of ancient sea creatures. Although finding marine fossils so far inland might seem odd, the landscape has drastically changed over the last 270 million years. The area where the fossils were discovered is rich in limestone, evidence that the Grand Canyon was once submerged beneath a shallow sea. These nautiloids are distant relatives of modern cephalopods like squid, and they likely lived on the seafloor, using their tentacles to capture prey. Apparently, this nautiloid fossil is known as a holotype specimen, meaning it was used to identify and describe a new species, though its scientific name is something I won't even attempt to pronounce. At number 16, we have the intriguing discovery of split twig figurines. These were first uncovered in 1933 in various caves across the Grand Canyon and are incredibly ancient. Crafted from single twigs that have been split and bent, these figures are typically made from willow sticks, which are intricately shaped into representations of animals. The most common designs depict deer or bighorn sheep, though some figurines are shaped to resemble spears. These unique creations have been found in 15 different caves throughout the region, with estimates dating them to between 2,000 and 4,000 years old. What's fascinating is that similar split twig figurines have been discovered in other parts of the western United States. Variations in wrapping and folding styles suggest they were made by different groups of people over a span of at least 1,700 years, offering a rare glimpse into the lives of ancient inhabitants. Were they toys, artistic creations, or perhaps used in religious rituals? What do you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. At number 15, the uranium mine. If none of the previous Grand Canyon discoveries have sparked any concern, this next one might just raise some eyebrows. The Grand Canyon is home to an abandoned uranium mine, and while it may not sound immediately alarming, the potential hazards tied to the mining and exposure to radioactive materials definitely introduce an element of unease. This is where things get really concerning. Uranium mining in the region surrounding the Grand Canyon is alarming not only because it's one of the most extraordinary geological landscapes on Earth, but also because it's home to at least 11 Native American tribes and a designated national park. Yes, uranium, the highly radioactive material used in nuclear power and weapons, is being mined just outside the park's boundaries. The problem with uranium and its pollution, however, is that it doesn't respect boundaries. When uranium leaks into the soil, contaminates water sources, or damages ecosystems, it poses long-term risks to the natural environment, the people, and the wildlife that call the Grand Canyon home. The Grand Canyon National Park Service has been working hard to keep uranium mining out of the park itself. One would assume a place like this would have full protection from such threats, but the power of profit and corporate greed seems to know no limits. Uranium mining around the Grand Canyon began in the 1950s at a site called Orphan Mine, just 2 miles from Grand Canyon Village. In total, there have been at least 8 uranium mines in the area, and one active mine today continues to pose a threat by potentially contaminating springs within the canyon. Efforts are ongoing to protect this region from the devastating effects of uranium mining. While a law now prevents new mining claims from being made, existing mines with valid rights are still allowed to operate. This remains a high-risk situation, but there is hope that continued advocacy and protection measures will eventually make uranium mining illegal throughout the entire region. That's a bold statement, but it's likely true. This room is located 220 feet below the Earth's surface, inside the largest dry cavern in the U.S., and it's over 65 million years old. If you book a stay here, you'll have the entire cavern suite all to yourself. The caverns were formed millions of years ago from limestone deposits, dating back to when an ancient sea covered the area that would later become the Grand Canyon. This site became a popular stop along historic Route 66 and was designed as a tourist destination. Visitors can take tours of the underground caverns, or if they're feeling adventurous, spend the night in the cave itself. So, What do you think? Would you want to sleep in a cave? Or would it be a little too spooky for your liking? Share your thoughts in the comments below. At number 13, we have the Horseshoe Canyon petroglyphs. While Horseshoe Canyon is technically in Utah, west of Green River and north of Canyonlands National Park, it's still a fascinating site worth mentioning. This canyon is home to ancient petroglyphs and pictographs, forms of rock art that involve scratching or carving into rock surfaces. The type of art found here is so iconic it has its own category, known as Barrier Canyon-style rock art. Humans have been in Horseshoe Canyon since as early as 900 BC, when Paleo-Indians hunted large mammals such as mastodons and mammoths. Native American populations continued to live in the region until around 1300 AD. The most significant area of petroglyphs is located in what's called the Great Gallery, where numerous, well-preserved images can still be seen. This incredible artwork offers a window into the lives and cultures of ancient peoples who once roamed the canyon. The Great Gallery in Horseshoe Canyon features a panel of rock art that stretches about 200 feet long and rises 15 feet high. The artwork predominantly depicts human-like figures that are life-sized, with some reaching up to 7 feet tall. At number 12, we delve into the Shasta ground sloth. While the image of a sloth might conjure up thoughts of cute, sleepy creatures often seen in illustrations on greeting cards, the Megatherium was far from adorable. This colossal creature was a massive, ground-dwelling sloth that lived around 5 million years ago in South America. These sloths were astonishingly large, up to 10 times the size of today's sloths, reaching weights of up to 4 tons, comparable to that of an elephant. They could even walk on their hind legs, making them the largest bipedal mammal to have ever lived. While not a strict carnivore, the Megatherium structure suggests it may have hunted smaller animals in addition to foraging for plants. In the Grand Canyon, evidence exists of a slightly smaller variety known as the Shasta ground sloth, which thrived during the last ice age. During this time, the Grand Canyon had a cooler and wetter climate filled with abundant vegetation, providing an ideal habitat for such a large herbivore. Researchers have discovered skulls of these sloths in caves, alongside pieces of fur, and even preserved sloth dung that still retains its odor today. The stable temperature and dry conditions of these caves have remarkably preserved these remnants for up to 11,000 years. Number 11, we have pseudoscorpions. Between 2005 and 2007, researchers studying a cave in the northern part of the Grand Canyon came across several scorpion-like creatures that appeared to be a new or undocumented species. After 7 years of rigorous research, they confirmed these creatures were indeed a new species, but they weren't true scorpions. Instead, these cave-dwelling critters are classified as pseudoscorpions. While they share a resemblance with scorpions, they lack the characteristic venomous stinger. Instead, these intriguing creatures possess their venomous capabilities in their pincers. These pseudoscorpions have adapted to life in darkness to such a degree that they lack eyes entirely, which is both creepy and somewhat dangerous. Despite their tiny size, measuring only about 0.12 inches in length, you wouldn't want to accidentally step on one in a dark cave. At number 10, we have the Chiricahua leopard frog. This frog species is easily recognizable due to its distinctive spotted pattern, hence the leopard in its name. Found throughout the southwestern United States, including the Grand Canyon, it was first identified in the Chiricahua Mountains of Arizona in the late 1800s. Unfortunately, this species is now considered vulnerable to extinction. Its water sources are dwindling due to increasing droughts, and its habitat is further threatened by a harmful fungus affecting freshwater ecosystems. Once common across the region, the Chiricahua leopard frog is now absent from about 80% of its former habitats. While this small, green, spotted frog isn't inherently scary, the decline of its population poses a terrifying prospect for the future of biodiversity. Number 9 is Supai Village, one of the most remote communities in the United States. Located within the Havasupai Indian Reservation in the Grand Canyon, this tiny Native American village can only be accessed by foot, horseback, or helicopter. The village serves as the capital of the Havasupai Indian Reservation and is home to around 200 residents. The stunning landscape surrounding Supai Village features breathtaking waterfalls, blue pools, and remarkable red rock formations. Despite its remoteness, tourists can visit the village by taking mule rides or hiking, with opportunities to stay overnight and experience the extraordinary scenery and local culture. Nearby attractions include the famous Muni Falls and Havasu Falls. Number 8, we turn to coli. These bacteria are commonly found in the environment, in food, and in the intestines of humans and animals. While E. coli comprises a broad group of bacteria, most strains are harmless. However, some can be extremely dangerous, leading to urinary tract infections, pneumonia, and other serious illnesses. Many strains can cause gastrointestinal distress, including severe diarrhea. For this reason, it's wise to avoid consuming anything that may be contaminated with E. coli, as it can make you very sick, sometimes severely so. In August 2023, a news report highlighted the alarming discovery of E. coli bacteria in the water near Phantom Ranch, the only lodging located at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. While finding E. coli in any water source is concerning, it's especially important to remember that drinking from natural sources is risky. It's best practice to boil any water source from puddles or similar locations. The presence of E. coli typically indicates contamination from fecal matter, adding to the urgency of exercising caution when it comes to water safety. Moving on to number 7, we have salamander-like footprints. The oldest fossils discovered in the Grand Canyon date back between 1.2 billion and 740 million years. These fossils, known as stromatolites, are formed by photosynthesizing cyanobacteria in limestone. In addition to stromatolites, the region showcases a wide array of fossils that chronicle the evolution of life on Earth over millions of years. The Coconino Sandstone, for example, formed when wind blew across ancient sand dunes approximately 275 million years ago, creating rock layers rich in fossils. Among these are footprints resembling those of lizards or salamanders. This discovery has sparked debates, particularly among creationists who argue against established scientific theories. Some claim these footprints must have formed after a biblical flood, as they believe that wet sand could only occur under such conditions. They dismiss the geological history that suggests the Grand Canyon area was once home to an inland sea and argue that these footprints couldn't be millions of years old. Instead, they propose that they were made just 6,000 years ago, shortly after Noah's Ark landed in Turkey. This line of reasoning raises questions about the relationship between faith and scientific understanding. Number 6, we encounter American cheetah bones. During the last ice age, the Grand Canyon was teeming with life, featuring a relatively mild climate and a rich array of plant life that attracted numerous herbivores. Naturally, with these herbivores roaming around, predators were also present, including the now extinct American cheetah. This large, agile predator thrived in the lush environment of the Grand Canyon, showcasing the diverse ecosystem that existed in this remarkable region long ago. Continuing our exploration of fascinating discoveries in the Grand Canyon, we reach number 5, the Vishnu Temple. Standing at an impressive 7,533 feet, the Vishnu Temple is a significant summit in Grand Canyon National Park, Arizona. Interestingly, it was named in 1880 by Clarence Dutton, who thought the mountain's shape resembled a pagoda, and he chose to name it after the Hindu deity Vishnu, the Redeemer of the universe. This naming reflects a trend of associating mountains in the Grand Canyon with mythological figures. The summit is primarily composed of Permian Coconino Sandstone and Kaibab Limestone, showcasing the rich geological history of the area. Its unique shape prompts various interpretations, some seeing it as a natural pyramid or pagoda. What do you think about its name? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to number 4, the Coconino Sandstone. This geological formation is prominent throughout the Grand Canyon and deserves special attention. Named after Coconino County in Arizona, the Coconino Sandstone stretches across the Colorado Plateau and into parts of Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. Inside the Grand Canyon, it manifests as a striking white cliff layer, showcasing its distinctive appearance. The thickness of this sandstone formation varies significantly. It reaches only 65 feet at the western end of the canyon, but can be as thick as 600 feet in the central region. It then tapers off again to just 57 feet in the eastern part, comprised mainly of fine sand made from quartz grains, with traces of potassium and feldspar. The Coconino Sandstone is a testament to the dynamic geological processes that have shaped the canyon over millions of years. Continuing with our list, we reach number 3, Grand Canyon vandalism. It's disheartening to think that people would choose to deface such a breathtaking and historically significant national treasure. Unfortunately, incidents of vandalism do occur, like the notorious act by 2 individuals who were caught on camera riding on the sacred rocks at Moran Point. This viewpoint is named after the artist Thomas Moran, known for his stunning landscape paintings of the American West in the 1800s. The actions of these vandals sparked outrage and led to media coverage highlighting their disregard for nature and cultural heritage. It's a stark reminder that, despite the beauty and reverence of places like the Grand Canyon, ignorance and disrespect can lead to regrettable actions. Next up at number 2, the Magellan Monster, also known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. This legendary creature has captured the imaginations of many and is said to inhabit remote wilderness areas, particularly in North America. Descriptions of Bigfoot vary, but it is generally depicted as a large, ape-like being. Despite numerous alleged sightings, footprints, and even photographs, though they're often blurry, mainstream science tends to dismiss the existence of Bigfoot, attributing the claims to folklore or misidentifications. However, enthusiasts argue that the vast, unexplored areas of wilderness provide plenty of opportunities for such a creature to remain hidden. This debate between believers and skeptics continues to intrigue many, making Bigfoot a captivating aspect of North American folklore. To wrap up our exploration of the Grand Canyon's intriguing aspects, we arrive at number 1, archaeological sites. The Grand Canyon is a treasure trove of history, showcasing not only significant geological formations, but also a wealth of archaeological evidence that sheds light on human activity in the region. Since 2008, archaeologists have been meticulously excavating sites along the Colorado River, uncovering substantial evidence of human habitation that spans an astonishing 3,500 years. This research has revealed that the canyon was inhabited by at least 6 distinct groups of people, each contributing to the rich tapestry of the area's history. These findings provide invaluable insights into the lives and cultures of those who once thrived in this magnificent landscape, helping us understand our shared human heritage as well as the broader natural history of the region. As we conclude our journey, it's evident that the Grand Canyon is not just a stunning visual spectacle. It's a key to unlocking the mysteries of both our past and the natural world. What about you? Which of these incredible discoveries fascinates you the most? Have you had the opportunity to visit the Grand Canyon and experience its wonders firsthand? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Be sure to check out the other intriguing topics presented, and I look forward to our next adventure together.